I've done some interviews.
I'm sure that's a dream for every person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Of course, these days I don't talk about my experience because people say you've become too old. During my high school days, maybe 10th or 11th, that period, I started a library.
And how would you differentiate consolidation versus an MBOCC?
The analyst, 70% of Indian freight forwarding business is controlled by multinational companies.
When you sent me the screenshot of the maps, it showed 11 minutes. So I think you are one of the closest staying or guests on Logitalk.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. That you're right. Yeah.
So let's try to rewind a little.
Okay.
You're from Kerala.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how did a humble boy from Kerala get into logistics? How did it happen? Were you always in Kerala, or were you born and brought up somewhere else and your roots are from Kerala? Or how did it all happen? Take us from that journey right from your college up till now.
Okay.
And you've had, how many years you've completed in this industry?
It's around 25, more than 25 years.
Exactly.
Of course, these days I don't talk about my experience because people say you've become too old. So anyway, it's more than 25 years I'm in the industry. So I started in logistics itself.
Okay.
So I never worked in any company other than in logistics.
So right out of college.
Yeah. So for me, my schooling and till graduation, I was in Kerala. Kerala, there is a place named Kanjapalli. That is where I'm originally from.
That's near Kochi, or
no? It's in Kottayam district. My house is around 2.5 hours drive. Around 100 kilometers from Cochin Airport.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had my schooling till graduation. I was there. So after that I did my management outside. Then I got into Consolidation, LCL Consolidation, and that's how I came to Mumbai. I mean, otherwise, logistics was not something which I thought I will get into, nor I was targeting to get into logistics. I can say it came by accident. Accident. Yeah.
Many people during that phase, especially the early 90s or mid 90s, even for that matter, early 2000s, they have all gotten into logistics by accident.
Absolutely.
Someone told them, "Oh, I'm making this much money. Why don't you try it?" Or someone told them, "Hey, listen, I know this person. I can get you a job." Was it similar for you, or right out of college, was it like a placement kind of a thing?
It is kind of thing after management. So that's the way I got into logistics actually. Right. Otherwise, there was many campus interview. There are different kind of thing was going on. Okay, just go to logistics without knowing what is it going to be. And maybe my first interaction was when I was coming to Mumbai. On the road, I could see some containers going. So I was just reading what is behind.
Right.
So that is how I understood trying to be familiar. So that was my first exposure to logistics, I would say. Okay. Otherwise, my place is not near to the sea. Right. So it's inside. What we are seeing is only rubber plantation, which even my family was also into that. Okay. So we are not exposed to ship or shipping or anything. Yeah.
But you always knew that the rubber, which is getting cultivated, or with the business you are in, that is getting exported, or that knowledge was also maybe not.
But that was not really we are exposed to that.
Right.
Nothing much. That time it was not the case. It was mostly being consumed in India, or it is being moving to maybe Chennai. Then you don't know what happened after that.
Right. Of course.
So that was the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
So college happened. You got placed.
Yeah.
Which company did you get placed?
My first job, or the only place where I worked, was All Cargo.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first and the last.
First and the last.
Right.
Yeah. I continued there for 10 years.
Okay.
And after that, I moved to. We thought about starting something by ourselves, and then we started this.
Okay. Yeah. So how was those 10 years in All Cargo? I think that was because, as far as I know, All Cargo has produced a lot of. It is called as an institute where a lot of individuals who have ended up starting their own businesses. Yeah. So the 10 years must have been really grinding and a lot of hard work.
Absolutely. Right? I mean, that always talk about the strength of the leadership. a good leader can only create the other leaders.
Right.
So, I mean, that was the reason also what you have said happened because of that.
Right.
So for me also, why I continued for 10 years was, again, the colleagues were nice, very competitive environment, company was growing, I learned a lot, and of course, it was okay, equally rewarding, I would say. So it went on for 10 years. But one point of time, I always had a plan, or I would say, ek ichha tha to do something by myself. So that was my entrepreneurial thing.
Right.
Of course, because during my school days or college days also, I always thought about I will do some business in future. So that was there in my mind. So yeah, then I started this thing. Of course, this is not my first entrepreneurial journey. I started doing some small thing during my high school.
What was that? That maybe not a lot of people know, right?
Yeah, that's true. During my high school days, maybe 10th or 11th, that period, I started a library.
Oh,
yeah, that is something completely different.
In Kerala.
In Kerala.
Of course, yeah, schooling was
not library in the sense like don't think like it is going to be something big.
Uh-huh.
I did it out of my house, like and circulating only among my friends. So all these inhabitants, famous swag, Hardy Boys, those kind of things, I had a good collection. So I was circulating among my friends.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was my first entrepreneurial setup.
And you used to maintain a
little bit,
the book taken date and the return date and all of those things. Subscription,
not really that big scale, but okay. I used to make some pocket money with that. So that was my first entrepreneurial journey.
How did that idea come?
I don't know. I just wanted to do something. Yeah, then I had a lot of books, and I used to get a lot of books also. So then I started doing it. Of course, it was only within the circle, close friends and all. But it went into an abrupt end, like by 10th or 11th. Then my father came to know that I am doing something like this.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No. So he said, okay, sharing book is a good thing, but don't charge for it.
Yeah, making money is
not good. So then it's okay, fine. Sharing books still happen. Then of course, even now I do that. I buy books and I give to my friends.
I know this. When the first time you came to my office, you bought me 2 amazing books, which I've already completed. Okay, so now I understand where the love for books comes from.
Yeah. And like, I don't give any bouquets to people wherever I go for any inauguration or anything. I don't give bouquets. I give books. So that is one philosophy I always carry. Whether the person is reading or not, I do my duty of giving him the books. So that's something which I do. Even with my kids also I do. I buy a lot of books for them. Some they read, some they don't. But again, I give it. I keep on buying.
What if they start a library?
I don't know. I'll be happy if they do that. Yeah.
Following father's footsteps.
Yeah. I don't know whether it is still happening. Yeah. So anyway.
So then All Cargo happened. When did you start in All Cargo?
We started in, my career started in 96, end of 96. Then we started Global Logistics in 2006.
Okay, so now 2005 is when the journey with All Cargo ends. 2006 is where you start Global Logistics.
I would say end of 2006, that's the time when we started.
So how did Global Logistics happen? Let's focus more on that. I know you were 3 colleagues who were colleagues and then you guys got together and started. So tell us more about that.
It's something like, okay, we are colleagues and we were in a good position over there. But at the end of the day, I had a plan or I had a vision or idea to do something. And similarly, some 2 other colleagues also had something. So then, okay, we thought, why don't we do it together? So then that's how it started. It started happening and then we grew slowly. It grew. Now it is 18 years. So over a period of time, the company also grew.
I read on your LinkedIn that it was 20 people and now around 350 people.
Yeah, that's
approximately.
Yeah.
So what was that journey like? I'm sure it must have been full of challenges.
Absolutely.
During starting off.
Yeah.
You have to build your own customer base.
Correct.
And then you have to gain their trust as well.
Correct.
Then logistics business involves a lot of money as well.
Correct.
So what was that phase like? Maybe, I think, let me put it in this way, the 2006 to 2010, I think typically a company takes about 4 to 5 years to stabilize. So what was that phase like?
The challenges, of course, like first 3-4 years, it's really, really challenging. First and foremost, we were not running a business, nor we are from a business family. Not all 3 of us, we are all from a different background. So most of the things we had to make mistakes and then learn. And things were not open like somebody who's starting off today. Today, if somebody is starting a company, they know the world, once you Google it, you have the entire thing. Of course,
Right.
I mean that was not popular that time.
Right.
Incidentally, I think Google also started in 2006, but
Yes,
they were
around
not
5
popular.
or 6. Yes.
Yeah, but they were also not popular by that time. Nor you could search or anything.
And
So,
internet was also not that freely available.
it's not available.
And it was
Yeah.
expensive.
Correct.
So,
And even the network agents and all
Hmm.
these things, we had to make mistakes, like lose money. There are various mistakes we did in the initial years,
Hmm.
and that's how we learned and do it also.
Hmm.
And searching also, it's not like today if you want to know about an agent, you just Google consolidation agent in Singapore and all
have the list available.
and the list will come.
Right.
But that time it was different. You never heard the name also, so
Hmm.
you had to go there, visit them, and try to get all
build that
Yeah,
association, build
Yeah.
that relationship.
Correct. And again, relationship building.
Yeah.
That was again
Most important
it's
thing.
very important, very difficult also. Yeah. But those challenges were there, but it was interesting.
Hmm.
We also learned a lot and made mistakes, and from that step by step, and we could take on and grow.
If I may ask, what was that biggest learning you had? I know it's long, long ago,
Yeah.
but what was that biggest learning which really aligned all three of you and you were like, boss, this is something which we cannot let happen
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Do you remember such an instance?
Yes. Take care of your people also.
Hmm.
That is something which we were doing from beginning. Initial days, sometimes it was very difficult even to ensure that the payment to the customers, or not the customers, I would say the staff and everything, is a challenge.
Yes, of
But
course.
we ensure that at every 30th of the month, the salary is being paid, which we even now carry.
Right.
Even during the difficult times, we used to do that because we always believe in taking care of the people and of course the customers also, and they will take care of the customer.
Right.
So that thing
People
we
build the
continue.
companies.
Absolutely.
It's,
You take care of your people and
Correct.
the people take care of the customers,
Right.
and they take care of the company.
Right.
And we could also that was my personal thing, and even my partners also,
Hmm.
make them grow. Always give chance for the people who is with you. Give them the opportunity to grow.
to grow.
Yeah, and train them and take them, help them to take various challenges also.
Right.
And I could see many other people who were with us in the beginning also. Some people moved the entrepreneurial way, and many people learned, and we are happy about it. So
Right.
we could also impart a lot of positive things in their life. We
Right.
could add a lot of things in their life, so they could also grow. So we are happy about it, which even now we do. We do a lot of trainings, continuously training the people.
Yeah.
So anyone who work with us for a period of time, we could say they are one step ahead on what that is in the market. So their quality will be better. Yeah. So, and we are sure that we love to do
Yeah.
that also. Sharing of knowledge.
Yeah, I think one thing which I am great friends with you, I'm great friends with Asif Bhai, I'm great friends with Naveen Bhai as well. I'm sure you three bring in a different quality to the table, which then makes it as a whole, right?
Correct.
What are those three things?
Everyone's industry is completely different.
And that should how it should be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you have partners doing the same thing, then what is the value addition?
That's true.
Yeah.
Just to share something, if I want to go for a holiday, I want to, even with my family, we want to go in a very silent place. That's what we like.
Right.
But when Asif goes, he want to be in the middle of the city. So the industry is different.
Correct.
In
The likings are different.
Likings are different. But there are some common things which is
Right.
there. So that is how things. That is a mixing which happens.
Got it. I think that is the most important thing, to be very honest.
Right.
Otherwise, when best of the three things meet together,
Yeah.
that's when the entire success is formed.
Correct.
So how would you now describe global logistics? I want to get a little more technical here,
Okay.
because I'm sure there might be a lot of people who might want to enter the industry
True.
and might want to know what exactly each line of business within freight forwarding represents. Like
Yeah.
there is LCL, there is FCL, there is air freight, there is consolidation, there is NVOCC. If you can help me explain, first of all, you can tell me that what all global logistics are into, and then maybe in your own explanation, if you can explain each and every vertical,
Okay.
what do you think best describes each and every vertical?
See, my segment is LCL consolidation, where we are into global logistics is into LCL consolidation, where it is import and export. So we are fully focused as a neutral LCL consolidation. When I say neutral, our customers are the freight forwarding community.
Right.
And freight forwarding community, I would say in India, maybe more than 10,000 or maybe 15,000.
Correct.
I mean, there is no real clarity.
There's no number. Yeah.
There is no number, but I mean, what I could understand is that you yourself have some 4,000, 5,000 customers.
Yeah, exactly. 5,000.
So these are all, yeah. So you can imagine the people who are using others.
Correct.
So it will be 10 or 15,000 customers.
Correct.
So for us, our customers are like freight forwarding community.
Right.
We act as a neutral LCL consolidator, like offering worldwide service. So for us as a company, like we are spreading 19 offices across India. Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, Gujarat. Gujarat, we have 5 offices,
Right.
and Delhi, Kolkata. We spread all across, we are there. And our customer base, when it comes to freight forwarding, even now, as per some of the analysts, 70% of Indian freight forwarding business is controlled by multinational companies who is in the top 20.
Okay.
Which
Like
I'm
the
talking about DHL, Kunanagar,
Nippon Express and all these companies.
all these companies are
Right.
there. So rest maybe 30% is only kind of handled by Indian freight forwarders.
Right.
So that is, I may not be 100%
In
right.
India as well?
In India.
70-30?
I'm talking
Wow.
about the Indian figure.
Okay.
So this may not be 100% right, but this is as per some of the data which I go through.
Got it.
So that I came across this kind of numbers also.
Right.
So freight forwarding is again, in simple words, is buying and selling, you can say.
Correct.
That is the normal thing. But that much beyond that, there is 3PL, 4PL, 5PL. It goes to different level of handling the customer. It's from door to door, then paying, handling, and there are other 5PL. Every vertical have a different set of arrangements where what they do.
Correct.
Some, I believe it is in 5PL or something. Even the forwarders are involved in the production right from that time. Yes. So these are the various steps wherein freight forwarding.
So that would be more like a backward integration, you would say?
Yeah.
Handling the manufacturing as well
Absolutely.
as then making sure that...
Correct. So it goes into that deep also. So the simple form of buying and selling it start, then giving value addition, and it goes on.
And how would you differentiate consolidation versus an MBOCC? Because there's always, I'm asking this question for the people who will be listening to this podcast. People are always confused. So in your own words, how would you describe a consolidation business versus an NBOCC?
Okay. In India, people say NBOCC and consolidation are same.
Exactly.
But in US, they say in a different way.
Right.
Europe, they say in a
Why
different
is that?
way. Because NBOCC is non-vessel operating common carrier. But it also comes with, you have own containers. So that is a different type of NBOCC. The people who have containers, but no ships or, so then they are called actual NBOCC.
Okay.
But it's again, people use it like a consolidation, NBOCC.
It's a loosely used terminology.
Yes, so there is no clearly defined, there is nothing like that. So it is both ways it is going on.
But you guys are not into NBOCC.
We are also.
Okay.
That's a very small vertical. We are into, we have own containers also.
Okay.
Like that, but that's not a major segment.
Right.
For us, the biggest segment is LCL consolidation is a major thing, major business which is.
And I am sure even the consolidation business represents equal amount of risks what every freight forwarding company has. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's that risk that there is a commitment of the space you've already bought. And now you need to make sure that you have enough cargo to be placed over there, right?
Correct.
And that's always a chicken and egg story.
Correct.
How do you deal with this kind of scenarios? Sorry if I'm getting too technical, but
that is fine. That is where the success of a consolidator lies.
Correct.
If I'm closing a container with say 45 CBM, it may not be profitable. But if I close it with a 55 CBM or 60 CBM, it's a different situation.
Correct.
So the last cubic always come with it's similar to airlines.
Right.
Flight is taking off anyways, whether you fly 100 people or 180 people.
Correct.
So similarly for a container, if I fill it with the full cargo, that is how the profitability works.
And that's where the secret sauce lies, honestly. Right? Otherwise, everyone would be getting into consolidation. It's not easy.
Some will go in loss, but again, you should have a calculation. You should work towards getting at a full storage.
Right.
That is how things work.
So I'm sure you guys also must be depending on a lot of data analytics as well, right?
We do that.
Does that help as well?
Yeah, we do go through reports, data analytics as a software company that is more deep into it, but we are not into that kind of advanced way of looking into it.
Right.
It's a normal way of handling the data and try to approach the customers based on trade lanes. That's how we do it also.
Okay.
When again, I say when the storage, every trade lane got its own peculiar features. Like we run a direct consolidation. It's a unique service from Japan to India.
Right.
Where the containers comes with maybe 25 cbm in a 40 feet, or even 20 cbm in a 40 feet.
Right.
Because Japanese want their cargo to be very, very, very like what do you call it? Clear,
Minimalistic.
No damage.
Just like how they are, right?
Absolutely.
Minimalistic.
Minimalistic, and not minimalistic. I would say they take so much care about that. So they don't like their stowages or something like they take a lot of care in stuffing.
Okay.
So in that bargain, they will not be able to stuff like a container which is coming from China at 60 cubic meter. Here it will come at a very low stowage, but again, that is a unique service which we also offer. So it takes, there is absolutely no damage also, and it's taken care of very well.
So now moving on to the current scenarios which are happening. You have Mr. Trump throwing the war of tariff every now and then. Then you suddenly had India-Pakistan issue as well. How does these macro level or socio-economic challenges affect your business, or for that matter, any business? Let's talk about US tariffs. Let's also throw some light on the current scenario, which is the India-Pakistan escalation. Do you see these things affect the trade business, or it is just that it's not affecting, but yes, the sentiments are disturbed? What is it exactly?
I would say for a developing country like India, which is still growing, this kind of macroeconomics going around the world will not be hitting, it's not hitting too much in the micro level. So though there is a lot of talk about Trump tariff, how it is going to affect and how it is not going to affect India, India was never faced a big problem because of any kind of a thing. Okay, there can be slight changes here and there, but it's not massive or it's going to hit you badly. So I don't think it will, this macroeconomics which is going worldwide will not affect much of India, because we are still a developing country. It is still a, I mean, we are always, our graph is always up. I'm talking about as a country. The export is going up, import is going up, and it is continuously growing up. We haven't reached a level where this macroeconomics is going to affect you in a very big way.
Then why do people all try to pin everything on this? You know, I don't know. So, I meet on an average around 50, 60 freight forwarders in a week. Sometimes more because of the network conferences. And every single time, whenever I ask, how's business? You know, Trump tariffs, you know, this war, that war. Is it just the attitude which has become like this? Or
it depends on the people. If somebody is pessimistic, he will talk only
always
about
be
the problem.
pessimistic.
And if you are optimistic, you will talk only about the good thing which is going to happen because of this thing. So I'm always optimistic. So I view this kind of Trump tariff or I mean this kind of thing.
Maybe an opportunity.
It's a great opportunity. Especially I'm talking my point of view as Indian. Like then it's a good thing for us.
Now that you're talking about India, you've been in this industry for last 25 years, you know, and I've heard this from a lot of people that 10 years, 12 years ago, or probably 15 years ago, it was a very different scenario. And now no one can ignore India when it comes to logistics, when it comes to export-driven activities, import-driven activities. What was your observation? You've been through that entire journey, right? When India was probably not looked with that much kind of focus, and now you look at conferences like WCA, look at conferences like JC Trans, everyone is there to meet some good Indian freight forwarder. So what changed, and what was your observation all these years?
It's more in the media. Like earlier, if you talking about rightly said, 15 years back, if you check the newspapers, you will not find a news about logistics. You will not find a news about shipping or anything. Because it was not like like people were talking about logistics. But over a period of time, it is being taken as a surprise industry, and people started talking about logistics. And there are a lot of logistic institutes mushroomed also. Some are good, some are very bad. So that is also there. And even the master's degree or MBA curriculum and all, like this logistics has been added as one of the thing or one of the speciality. So people talk about it, the media is covering it more and more. But at the end of the day, without logistics, nothing used to happen. Nothing moves, and nothing, it used to be always there, but it was an ignored thing. Though it is vital, it was ignored in the past. But now things have changed.
Do you think COVID changed that? for that matter?
No, not exactly. It's again over a period of time, the awareness become more and more because in any field, the awareness has increased, and due to that, like this is being covered more and more.
Right.
But still, there is a long, long way for India to the way we talk about. Not we talk about. I'm talking. The world is talking about. Like you've been to this WCA conference where last time I believe there are some 700 Indian forwarders were there. And Chinese was again 700, and Turkey was again 400, 500.
These three countries were the biggest delegates
in that. But if you compare the real export strength of China, we are far
nowhere there. But are you guys taking some steps towards sustainability, or how do you see this pan out? Basically, everyone is talking about sustainability. You have the COP 26, I think, coming up.
COP 26 that is happening. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, what is your opinion on this whole sustainability aspect?
So far, I would say it has remained as a fad. I mean, people talk about sustainability. I mean, every company is taking steps in their own smaller ways.
Correct.
But as a massive scale, no. I mean, if you really analyze, you're talking about Trump's pattern and all. Now, when he came to the power, what he said, drill baby run, drill baby drill. So that was his like a word. I mean, it's a fossil fuel. It is. I mean, you cannot go talk about sustainability. So they are also moving away from that.
Correct.
So it's environmentally damaging. But yes, for growth, you will have to do that. For a country like India, I would still say, I mean, that's a place where you need to reach there.
Correct.
But to reach that, there is a lot of steps we have to cover also. So
I think some companies have started to take these smaller steps. Like, for example, rather than having a combustible engine forklift, they are opting for electric forklift in their warehouses. You know, these are the smaller bits.
Correct. Yeah.
But that is the only thing which I'm seeing in terms of sustainability happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the larger companies, they have a lot of promises because, of course, from the investor's point of view, you have to put it out there.
Yeah.
But I don't see any real changes coming along. Maybe it might happen in some due time.
Sometimes we joke, like there is a conference on sustainability, 100 people coming in, 100 big size SUVs, which is having a mileage of 3 kilometers per liter and asking for no plastic bottle.
Yeah.
So
it's the irony.
Yeah, there's a lot of irony which is going on in that also. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm sure.
But things are changing.
Yeah, things are changing.
You have to look into your environment.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the climate change is for real.
Correct.
A lot of things, even in our city, like Mumbai also, things are changing. Monsoon timing is changing. So a lot of things are happening also. So you need to take care of that.
Correct.
So that is something seriously you have to look into that.
Yeah. I'm going to throw you a curveball question, okay? As I told you on the phone as well.
Okay.
What is that one dynamic thing? And you can go wild with your thought.
Okay.
What is that one dynamic thing or one wish list you want to see happen within the logistics industry in the next 5 years? You could be completely wild as well. Which is that one wish list of yours, one thing in your heart which you want this thing to happen in the logistics sector in the next 5 years?
As a sector or the company, or what do you
sector,
feel like?
I would say.
Yeah. I mean, as a sector, I would say logistics industry, whenever I talk during my podcast also, something I talk about is that the cumbersome processes or the legal things, everything need to be more smooth for the country to grow, for in export or in logistic also. It need to be much, much smoother. The compliances are really killing. So maybe we'll move out of that one day where things are going to be like a free way of like moving cargo inside, outside. The process will again shrink and things will be more smooth. So that's what I wish it will happen maybe in a couple of years.
I'm sure that's a dream for every person,
Yeah.
you know, because there's a lot of, I mean, I'm sure I've not seen those times, but we've come a long way.
Yeah.
But I think there's a long further way to go.
Quite a long way.
Yeah.
Quite a long way to go.
Yeah.
Also. Like I was talking about even that port which has come in Vizhinjam, which is in south. You are trying to make it as a transshipment hub.
Correct.
But transshipment hub required a lot of free movement of cargo.
Correct.
The complaints need to be minuscule.
Right.
like how Hong Kong or Singapore is doing.
Correct.
So anything can come, anything can go. It is
Right.
again through that kind of processing everything. I mean, you cannot talk about you have to fill these papers, that papers,
Yeah.
that need to change.
Yeah.
Even for a port like say Navashiva port, with so many CFS all going around, moving one cargo from one CFS to other require a lot of process,
lot of
paperwork,
paperwork.
additional cost, everything happening.
Correct.
So if you talk about the same something happening in Hong Kong, any warehouse to warehouse, you can just move the cargo in and around.
Yeah.
Without any paperwork. You can pick up the cargo from another warehouse and bring it in your warehouse, and so smoothly you can do that.
Correct.
And that happens in most of the ports across the world also.
Right.
So that is where the your costing really go up.
Right.
Though I don't believe in India's logistic cost is high.
Oh, yeah.
I don't believe in that.
There's
Because
a lot of
because
factors in it.
sometimes from where that 14% comes, I really don't
Exactly.
know. As per some other studies or Indian economic studies, they say it is 8.35.
Right.
I would say it may be lesser than that.
Correct.
Also. So because whenever you speak to a exporter, importer, forwarding companies, the costing is not that.
Yeah.
But we believe we are in 14%.
Correct.
Which I really don't think it is.
Yeah. I think once I heard someone, I think Shantanu ji mentioned that one piece of data will tell you some other story, another piece of data will tell you some other story.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
might as well just keep concerned about what is happening within your business rather than focusing on these data sets.
Yeah.
But you, I want to quickly touch upon the fact that you were the first one within this industry to be the most camera friendly person. As you mentioned, you have your own YouTube channel. You've done podcasts where you have invited guests. So this is the first time, as you mentioned, that you are a guest.
Yeah, I'm answering for the first
Exactly.
time.
So how did that thought come along? I see a lot of content which you produce is very informative, and I love it. Because I learn and I gain a lot of knowledge, which probably, and especially coming from the person who is sitting at the heart of the things from the logistics sector, coming from that person, it really is a lot of knowledge which we gain. What made you start that?
Yeah, see, when I started, I mean, there was no podcast. I don't think any other podcast is existing in purely logistics focus.
Correct.
So it was basically my idea of sharing the knowledge,
Right.
whatever I have.
Right.
It may be good or bad, but if there is something which I can share, and so that is what I'm trying to do.
Correct.
And of course, in the bargain, I'm also learning more.
Yes.
So for talking anything,
You have to do the research.
Yeah, I need to read quite a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So otherwise, you cannot talk.
Correct.
So it is helping me also personally.
Right.
But I am very happy that many people are also gaining a lot of knowledge from that.
Correct.
So some of the podcasts really, even it's a niche segment.
Yeah.
But the people who want to get into logistics, many people hear something about, I talk about diverse kind of thing in
You
logistics.
spoke about a concerts logistic also, right?
Yeah.
Taylor Swift? No.
Concert logistics, the musical. Kind of thing. I was
Which
talking
event
about
was that?
It was not an event. I was generally talking about concert logistics.
Concert logistics.
Concert logistics, wedding logistics, because everything is, people forget the kind of thing which is happening, the logistic thing which is happening.
What's happening behind the door?
Absolutely. What we see is the usher on stage or something, but we are not seeing the thing going behind that.
Absolutely.
So I did some, and it was quite interesting for me to learn how these things work also.
Correct. What is your channel's name, if we can get it out there?
It's Logistically Speak.
Logistically Speak.
Yeah, that's
I follow, so I know. I just wanted to get the name out there.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you are by far one of the few people who are actually doing that, and I've seen a lot of people do it, but it fizzles off over a time. You've been very consistent.
Correct.
You've been very consistent.
Not an easy thing, but
it's not an easy thing. I had the privilege of featuring in one of those videos, so I remember, and I was very shy in sending you the video. I remember you had to follow up a lot, and I'm sorry for that. But I've had the privilege of featuring in one of those videos. But I think keep doing that. I think that shares a lot of knowledge, and I think a lot of people end up learning a lot, because this industry is what my observation, because I came in 5 years back. Even with the Googles and the AIs, you cannot learn everything.
Correct.
There's so much on the job training which happens. Even we represent the technology side, but unless and until we don't understand your business, it will be very difficult for us to sustain in our own business. So it's very important for us to understand logistics.
Correct.
And very honestly, the Googles and the AIs, be it Gemini, be it ChatGPT, be it DeepSeek, they don't really do justice compared to the knowledge which I could gain by sitting with a freight forwarder or a logistics service provider.
Yeah.
That knowledge is completely priceless.
Yeah.
Because that is right from the experience, right from the heart, right from that challenging day which he might have had just yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
Because even AI, like I use ChatGPT also or DeepSeek and
Correct.
for some information. But when it comes to logistics, I see ChatGPT is very, very minuscule.
Yeah.
It is not expanded in logistics sector.
Correct.
Like if you talk about art or everything, there is Gamma, there is multiple things.
Right.
AI specifically focused on some different thing.
Correct.
Making a story, making a music, everything is
Right.
there. But logistics, of course, it's a niche thing.
It's a very niche
It's a niche thing.
Yeah.
So like again, that kind of information availability is very less,
Yeah.
though it is very important. Like I was talking about military logistics.
Correct.
Any wars which is you are successful or you're losing it out, everything depends on your logistics.
Yes, absolutely.
So, but again, that is not being given the highlight which it's required to be.
deserves, yeah.
It deserves. We are not getting it also.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's very, I think
Yeah.
such insights are very important.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing. I don't want to end it, but of course, I don't want you to get bored, I feel. But there are a lot of new startups coming in.
Yeah.
Just like you were a startup in 2006.
Yeah.
There are a lot of startup freight forwarding companies, a lot of startup consolidators. And startup doesn't mean that a young person is doing it. It could be a person just like yours who has been with a company for 10 years and is now starting off by themselves.
Yeah.
What is that one, or much rather, I'll leave it up to you. What are these few key takeaways which you would like to share it with them that these were your learnings, or this is what you practiced?
Yeah.
It could be, anything which you practiced during that tough few years.
Yeah.
What are those things which you would like to, share it with anyone who is probably 1 year, 2 year, 3 year into their logistics business?
Yeah. See, like I would say, traditionally people are handling the business in one pattern only. So if you're coming up and starting doing something, if you again continue that, I don't think there is a great future in doing that. So I would not say it's a big disruption, but again, change the way you are doing things. Because ecosystem is not so far for IT or platformization.
Right.
Ecosystem is not yet ready.
Right.
I'm not only talking about by way of India,
Right.
worldwide also.
Right.
That is one of the reasons none of the platforms could really take on for logistics.
Correct.
Things are changing, but
Right.
over a period of time, things will change.
Right.
So whenever you come, if you try to do the same thing which is going on for years and years together,
That won't help.
there is a scalability will not be there.
Yeah.
So you have to think bit differently,
Correct.
approach the sector in a different way altogether, then something can happen also.
Right.
Like India is always a rate crazy place, we say,
Correct.
but again, the costing also is something where with the process, if you can reduce and if you can try to do something about that,
Yeah.
those things can really help also.
Correct. Great, Jiss. Thank you for being such an amazing guest on LogiTalk.
Thank
It's
you.
always a pleasure to talk to you, and
Thank you.
I'm sure even I've learned a lot of things today, and so will all the people who will be listening to you. But thank you so much for being such an amazing guest.
Thank you. It was really a pleasure. It was really a pleasure talking to you. So rather than being
Asking the
asking the
questions.
question also,
Yeah.
it was a good experience for me
Yeah.
also. And again, though I know you for a long time,
Right.
so it was like again a conversation.
Correct.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed it.
Thank you
Great.
so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Whew. See, one take.